What is going on, everybody, and welcome back to the CUFO YouTube channel. It is Matchday 32 here on the channel. It is Burton Albion versus Carlisle United, and the Matchday predictions are around 3 minutes and 50 seconds. But let's focus on this game then for Carlisle. It is Burton Albion versus Carlisle. Some floodlight football at the Pirelli Stadium, Tuesday the 13th of February. And for me, it's a must-win. I know every game's a must-win, but I think the next 5 games for Carlisle will really cement our season. Do we have a fighting chance, or are we going straight back down? I think the next 5 games will determine that for us. I know a lot of people have written us off, but these next 5 games for me are massive. But let's meet the opposition then. In Burton Albion, they were founded in 1950. Their current manager is Gary Mills, and they play their football at the Pirelli Stadium, which holds 6,900. It is a 370-mile round trip, and it takes 6.5 hours. So safe travels any Blues fans making the trip down to Burton this coming Tuesday. Burton, though, are 17th in the table with 35 points. Carlisle still 24th with 20 points. And Burton's last 5 games, 2 losses, 2 wins and 1 draw. A 2-1 win over Bristol Rovers, a 1-0 defeat at home against Lincoln, a 0-0 draw against Carlisle's opponents on Saturday, Cambridge, a 2-0 win over Charlton, and a 3-2 defeat at Pride Park against Derby. Not the worst 5 games, especially compared to Carlisle, who have lost their last 6 in a row and have kept a clean sheet in 25 games. So it's definitely a much better sight if you're a Burton fan than a Carlisle fan. Our head-to-head is very limited, to be honest. We played them in the 2014-15 season, a 4-3 defeat at Burton Park in 2014, a 1-1 draw down at their place in April 2015, and then of course early this season we beat them 2-1 with a Joe Garner last minute. I think it was the 88th minute, I think Joe Garner scored to get the winner for us. Can't really remember a lot about the game, if I'm going to be perfectly honest. I believe it was a Tuesday night, but Carlisle picking up the 3 points at Burton Park, and we really need to do that again down at the Pirelli Stadium. Now, I think if we were to play and set up anything like we did against Portsmouth, we would have a chance. My players to watch for Carlisle, Josh Vella and Harrison Neal. I think them two with John Mellish in the midfield was just so energetic. They really brought sort of a liveliness to the game and everything. It was just getting that quality in the final third was our problem. For Burton, I went with Mark Helm, midfielder, ex-Manchester United and Burnley. Believe he scored at the weekend as well against Bristol Rovers, and then of course we've got Maxi Nets, who is of course an ex-Carlisle United player. But for my starting 11 then, I have went with a very similar formation to what we had on Saturday against Portsmouth. I made a couple of changes though. I went with Harry Lewis, I went with Jack Armour at left back. I personally prefer Armour to Robinson. We got Sam Lavelle and Sean Grennan at centre backs, Finn back at right back, John Mellish, Josh Vella, Harrison Neal, and then in centre attacking midfield it could be Jordan Gibson or Jack Diamond. I just went for them two in that way around, and then Luke Armstrong up front. Now I know Paul Simpson will probably keep sort of that but make it a 4-3-3 with Gibson and Vella on the wing. I'd personally just like to see Armstrong with someone next to him, and that's why I've went with that sort of a bit more of a 2 up top instead of a forward 3 with 2 wingers. That's what I would go with. What would you go with? Let me know in the comments down below. But that's what I'm looking at. I think that midfield should really stay the same. I know Mellish didn't really play as a CDM, he was more of an attacking midfielder, but I thought the 3 in the midfield with Harrison Neal, Josh Vella and John Mellish was really impactful at the weekend against Portsmouth, so I'll keep that the same. But as I say, I'd like Armstrong next to someone up front. Looking at the match day predictions then here in Sky Bet League 1, I went with Bolton 3, Wickham 0, Carlisle United 1, Burton 0. That's right, I predicted a Carlisle win. Charlton 0, Lincoln 0, Cheltenham 1, Blackpool 0, Derby Exeter 1-1. Fleetwood against Reading, I went with a 2-1 to Reading. That could be a massive game in Carlisle's relegation fight. Leighton Tory 0, Northampton 1, Oxford 1, Wigan 1, Peterborough 2, Port Vale 0. Peterborough obviously going to want to rebound after that defeat at the weekend. Portsmouth 1, Cambridge 0, Shrewsbury 0, Barnsley 1, and then finishing it with Stevenage 0, Bristol Rovers 0. But what are your predictions? Let me know in the comments down below. Are you confident going into this game day as a Carlisle United fan? What are your thoughts on the weekend's game against Portsmouth. I obviously put something out on Instagram, and a lot of you were saying that you felt a bit more positive about the team and everything. Is it too little, too late? Let me know in the comments down below. Again, I'd love to interact with you guys down there. But for now, I've been C. Rufford, and I'll see you in the next one.